In this video, I'm going to share a very basic but very important way that you can simplify your subject to have success in your drawings. Let's start with a very basic subject here, a pencil sharpener. Now, many of us look at this simple object and can't help but see all the details, and it's quite overwhelming. But what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into simple shapes, and then we'll add the details. So our finished drawing with details will be first broken down into basic, simple shapes. Then we'll add the details. And when we think of this object in this way, we really see that it is a simple object. It's just basically a wedge shape. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with a rectangle, and then we're going to make it a three-dimensional rectangle that's tapered just a bit on the right side. Very simple, very easy. In these early stages, we're just trying to get the length of the line correct so that the overall form is as close to accurate as possible. Then, using that basic form, we'll start to carve out some of the more intricate details of the form. In this case, the top part or the sides of the pencil sharpener have a little bit of an indentation. So we'll just use our form that we've drawn as a guide and basically cut those lines out. Now, we're continuing to look at the object that we're drawing. We're just breaking down the information that we're seeing into bite-sized, digestible chunks so that we're not overwhelmed with all the details that we see. Once we have the overall form of the object defined, then we can start to concentrate on some of the details that we see. We can also improve the line quality by making some of the lines a bit thicker and some of the lines leaving a bit thinner. This will add the illusion of form. Even though we're adding details and a bit of shading here, we're still taking the drawing in bite-sized chunks. We're not getting overwhelmed by all the details. We're just adding each detail individually, one at a time, by looking at the basic shapes that they form. We're also making comparisons between different values that exist, trying to make the darks and lights as close to accurate as possible. You see, this can be applied to any drawing that you create. It doesn't matter how complex it is. As long as you're able to break it down into chunks, you can get through it and you can be accurate with the marks that you create. Now you might be thinking, well, that's simple enough for a pencil sharpener, but how do I draw something that's more complex? The approach is still the same. Let's take a look at this bird. We're just going to look at basic shapes. We're not going to get overwhelmed with all of the details. And when we see those basic shapes, we can draw those basic shapes at the beginning stages of the drawing. The beginning stages of a drawing are the most important stages of the drawing. Once we learn to find those shapes in the subjects that we're drawing, we can create highly detailed drawings because we have a structure in place. So let's look at the process with the bird. We'll start with the shape of the head, which is basically an oval. Notice I'm drawing several lines to draw the oval. It's a good idea to be loose with your marks, especially in the early stages of the drawing. The bill comes out and creates somewhat of a triangle, and I'm going to define the form a little bit more than I would with just a triangle. The neck is simply a rectangular shape that comes down from the oval. Now, as I'm drawing these shapes, I'm also thinking about the relationship of negative space that happens around the overall shape of the bird. I'm making comparisons as I go with the photo reference to make sure that the shapes I'm creating are accurate and proportional. The body, of course, is just an oval. Notice it's slightly diagonal. And there's several groupings of feathers coming off, but I'm only going to worry about the main section here to begin with. I'll add the other parts when I start to add the details. For the legs, we're just going to draw simple lines, concentrating only on where the leg bends or turns and changes direction. Of course, the length of the line is important as well, so we're making comparisons to the length of the body. Now, we'll also draw shapes for the webbed feet. The second leg simply drops straight down, and of course we'll draw a shape for that foot as well. But notice how it ends higher up on the picture plane. This will create the illusion of space in the image, and it's what is observed in the photo reference. Now that we've got our basic shapes in place, we'll go back to those extra feathers that are sticking out on the end of the bird and add shapes for those as well. Again, as much as we can, we're going to simplify everything that we see in this early stage. And then once we've got the basic form of our object or our subject in place, now we can concentrate on the details. We can focus on the contour lines and defining that line, that edge, even further. We can focus on the textures that are observed, the values, all of the details that seem to be overwhelming at the beginning stages of the drawing, but shouldn't be. In the early stages of the drawing, we should be concentrating only on the basic shapes that we see. Learning how to see these basic shapes is fundamental to learning how to draw. Once you learn how to see objects as basic shapes, then you can draw anything that you want. It's just a process of breaking down complex objects into simple and easy to draw shapes. Adding all those details like the texture, the range of value, that becomes a whole lot easier when you've got accurate shapes in place right from the start. So ultimately, it's a process of simplification, finding simple geometric shapes in the complex objects that you draw, and piecing those shapes together. If you focus on the details right from the start, you'll find that drawing can be frustrating and very difficult. But if you learn to simplify objects into basic shapes right from the start, you'll find that drawing is rather easy. I hope that this demonstration has helped you out, and I hope that you can apply these tips to your own drawings. If you enjoyed this video and you're ready to learn more about drawing and painting, why not check out our comprehensive membership program at thevirtualinstructor.com, which includes great video courses, weekly live instruction, downloadable ebooks, and even lesson plans for teachers. Just click on the button in the corner to learn more now. You can also get 3 free course modules from our program. One from the Secrets to Drawing, one from Pastel Landscape Mastery, and a third from the Oil Painting Master Series. Each module includes a video and an ebook. To learn more about how you can get your free course modules, again, just click on the button in the corner. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel so you can get access to all of the new videos as we publish them. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in your artistic journey.